Welcome to No Sugarcoat Conversations. I'm Chef Pooja Dhingra, and my guest today is Chef Thomas Zacharias of the Bombay Canteen. This is part 3 of our conversation.
The IGTV videos, your cooking videos. I mean, I have the biggest fan in my house, and Zach's chutney is made every single day. It's like that day 3 chutneys were made, which was a variation of all your like the same recipe. So I know you said that you started cooking for yourself, and that's how you started sharing these recipes. But run me through that whole process. How did the first video come? And we also have to talk about these captions that come in the. I thought it was you talking to yourself first. So please shed some light.
Okay, so again, I mean, when you're in that process of isolation, you start thinking about again, like what to kind of share with your community online, right? And actually, sharing recipes is something I've never done. I've been on social media for the last 8 or 9 years, and I've never really shared recipes. Not because I hold on to them, just because maybe I haven't had the time or I didn't prioritize it. But I thought it might be a fun thing to do. I have a beautiful kitchen. I'm cooking anyway, so I thought might as well kind of take to it. But one thing I wanted to do when I was I kept thinking about, okay, if I'm sharing recipes, how will I want to share it, right? And I kept thinking about what I generally don't like about recipes online, and there's going to be a little bit of shit talking because the problem with in my opinion, the problem with recipe videos online is that everything is so manicured, everything is so prim and proper, everything goes perfectly well, but that's not really how we cook at home. That's not how anybody cooks, not even in a professional kitchen. You mess up things, you might burn something, you might not cut something properly. um, the recipe videos are always so scripted. Nobody makes mistakes, but it's so unreal, right? So what I wanted to do was, I said I'm going to keep it as organic and real as possible. Now I'm generally a clumsy person, so that comes through in the videos. I'm generally I'm a slightly quirky person if you start to get to know me, and that comes through as well. And so I didn't want to edit or any of that out. So when you're seeing these IGTV videos, it's just like one take. There's no going back and forth and reshooting, and I'm doing it all by myself, right? I'm shooting myself, uh, and so I mean that was something that was really important to me, and I think, and I knew that, okay, with any form of storytelling online, being organic and natural always works, and I think that's what kind of people kind of take to really well as well. um, and as soon as I put out the first couple of videos, I realized that obviously people are kind of liking it, and that's when I realized, okay, I've been trying to get people to cook regional Indian food and cook with local ingredients for such a long time, and it's always been just me like blabbering online and like these long posts with lots of gyan, but you never really see that translate into anything. And here I was like, I made one. I mean, the first recipe. I mean, the first video was the breaking of the coconut, and the first recipe was the coconut chutney. And like you see, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people cooking it and sharing it, and that's when I realized, oh my god, this is powerful. So then I started thinking, okay, what I'm going to do is every time it's going to be a different region. Obviously, a little more love comes to Kerala, but I've covered, I think, close to 18 or 19 different regions and communities within like
We're
22
going to
recipes.
come to authenticity there next. My next question.
Yeah, I want to talk about it. And yeah, so that's how that kind of process came, um, and I obviously created a hashtag to get people to understand what I was trying to do. With the captions, um, again, I think it's an extension of the fact that I wanted to be organic, where I am not going to reveal
roasting yourself. You're getting.
Huh?
It's like you're being roasted when you're cooking.
But it's not me. It's Cecily Chechi.
Yeah, which I realized later. So the first few videos, I was like, this is interesting. I was like, oh, he's roasting himself. This is an interesting concept.
But basically, what the captions show is what most people would think when they're watching the video,
Yeah.
right? Like, if you were to like just have a whole laugh at it, and that's kind of where that came from. And again, I've kind of like absolved myself of all control. So really embarrassing stuff happens, um, but it works. And I think people. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Cicely Chechi has a larger fan following than me very soon.
Who is she? Where, like, how, like, give us some background. Like,
So I am not at liberty to reveal who that is because she's not someone who wants any of the limelight.
got it.
Um, but
Yash, who's just doing a
won't believe a lot of people have commented on my videos saying, "Is it Yash?"
yeah,
Yash,
it could
Yash
be.
like sad face, and he's like, "No, it's not." Uh, Tizak doesn't trust me with his videos, but no, it's not Yash. As much as I think even he's annoyed that he doesn't know who it is. But yeah, it's fun, and yeah. So like, if you see the comments in most of the videos, I think now like 90% of it's like, "Oh my God, the captions are so funny."
Yeah.
Nobody's actually looking at the recipes.
Chucky
Uh,
thanks, Chucky. My dad is.
the other thing I consciously do with these videos, and I mean, I again share some stuff through Insta stories as well, is I don't put out quantities. And that's again a very conscious thing. And I've actually written, I have a blog. If you go to www.thomaszacharias.com, I have a blog where I talk about why I do these things. Is that I want, I mean, I have like a love and hate relationship with like recipes because I want people to start like cooking for themselves, like
I
using their
can
own.
tell you're not a pastry chef. Can you imagine just
I
doing
no,
it,
you
maybe 3 or 4 eggs?
uh, no, this idea, this philosophy doesn't apply to pastry, but it applies to like savory cooking, where too often we try and stick to precise recipes, and we kind of get lost in that. When what we should actually be doing is kind of building our intuition while we're cooking. Uh, and that's why I think a lot of people don't really end up loving the process of cooking because it becomes like a chore. It becomes like a yeah, it's like a boxed activity where you have to follow every step. Um, but once you and it's okay to make mistakes in those first few times. I have very close friends who are completely novice cooks who again I'm trying to push and encourage them to just like cook, just cook and be and like react to the smells and the tastes and try and understand what's happening, which you tend to not do if you have a fixed recipe. And like cooking food is the best when you can actually put some of yourself into it, and you really don't have that option if you strictly follow a recipe. um,
So the
yeah,
recipes
so
are going to keep continuing. Do you
as
hope?
in now I have a decent amount of time, but if you see, like I'm not very regular with them. I post maybe 2 recipes a week, so it's not a lot. But yeah, I hope to continue with them. I think there's a captive audience.
How do you deal with the fact that somebody is like, oh, but my grandma makes the same thing like this, or my house? Like I see so many of those comments, and I know, and I'll give an example. Like I know when you did the Sindhi, you did the sai bhaji, right? So somebody, like I know somebody was like, no, but sai bhaji is not made like this. And I know you said it before you started the recipe. You're like, this is my take on it. This is how I do it. But tell me, how many of those comments do you get? How do you deal with this whole authenticity of a recipe aspect of it?
Again, I've always never been a fan of the word authentic, because it's a really strange word in the context of food. What is authentic? Um, I mean, the way your family makes uh, a dal may be different from the family next door, right? Or if you're a Malwani and you're making a Malwani mutton curry, which I shared, and somebody else makes it a different way. I mean, there's one is not more authentic or less authentic than the other. It's not like we have like this archive of recipes dating back to 500 years, which everyone is cooking out of, right?
Yeah.
And I would imagine, because like when a lot of these recipes kind of came to be, you typically whoever was cooking them was cooking stuff based on what is available around them, right? So say for example, somebody's making a sai bhaji and eggplant wasn't available. It's not like they're going to not make sai bhaji and wait for the eggplant to come in, right? They'll make it without the eggplant. And that's exactly what I'm doing, where I'm saying, okay, I don't have this ingredient, or I have this ingredient with me in my fridge. I want to try and use it up. This might work well in this recipe. Why not? So yeah, I get a lot of comments, and there are certain communities and regions which are extra enthused about authenticity than others.
Yeah.
We used to get this a lot at Bombay Candy as well. I've always turned a blind eye to it, because the people who feel this way are very rigid in their beliefs. It's not very easy to kind of change that. And there are a lot of other people who are just enjoying the process of cooking. Ultimately, create something that's delicious, create something that you want to eat over and over again, that you want to feed people, make people happy. And that's more important than anything else.
Yeah. For everybody who's watching this, if you had to give them one message, you're getting ready, you're like, I'm ready to give this. No, what is the one no sugarcoat kind of message that you'd like to give people watching this? Like,
I got goosebumps just thinking about what I want to say. I think we all should be more kind and appreciative. I think not just to people around you, but to yourself, to the environment around you, to this life we've been given. I know it sounds like very like corny, but I think kindness can go a really long way in this time, and I think that's what's going to get us through to a better place when all this is over. I hope you enjoyed our conversation today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.